Hello everyone, I am Meera K. I secured an All India rank 6 in Civil Service Examination 2020. Today I am here to share with you my journey from Kerala to the dream, the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy for Administration after clearing the Civil Service Examination 2020. I'll be sharing with you what happened in my life in the last 5 years, the pitfalls that I had, and the various reasons why that pushed me into this path. So that's what I'll be sharing with you today. A little bit about myself. As you know, I'm Meera. I did my graduation in mechanical engineering from Government Engineering College, Thrissur, that is in Kerala. My optional was sociology, and one of my hobbies is quizzing. Yeah. So this is a brief overview about my UPSC journey. It starts from 2016. So nothing starts in a particular year. There were many roads and many reasons that pushed me towards this. But then some pivotal things in my life happened in 2016, which seriously pushed me into this journey. And then from then onwards in 2017, I was working in L&T Technology Services when I gave my first attempt, 2018 my second attempt, 19 my third attempt, and finally 20 my fourth attempt, where I got the result in 2021. So I'll be sharing my journey of this 6 years with you. So my UPSC story officially starts in 2016. So my childhood dream, or something that I was very passionate about, was to join the Indian Air Force. My grandfather, he was an Air Force veteran, and I have an uncle who is in Air Force. So I really wanted to join the Air Force. I was hearing stories from them, and I was very fascinated with the uniform and the lifestyle and the culture and everything. And I was filled with passion to serve the country by joining the forces. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't have a plan B. I took mechanical engineering. This was Air Force was one of the reasons why I took mechanical engineering as my graduation subject. And then in 2016, I passed out of college. And then I sat for the AFCAT, the Air Force admission test that you have to take. I cleared it. I went for the SSB. And then in the medical, I realized that I have a condition called flat feet. So that is a rejection criteria. That is a medically rejecting criteria where you are not allowed in any of the military services. And that shook me because I was not aware that flat foot is a condition for such an outright rejection. And I can't do anything about it also because it's a part of my body, it's a part of who I am. There is no cure for this. There is a surgery, but then that is like futile. So I realized that my dream is over. I can't do, no matter how hard I work, no matter how passionate I am, I can never achieve this dream of mine. That was it. So luckily, so I was totally lost, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a plan B. I didn't know what else to do with my life. So I was very confused at that point of my life. And then luckily I got a campus placement in L&T Technology Services. L&T, as you know, is a very big name, especially for the mechanical engineering field. So I happily took up the job because I didn't know if that was what I wanted, but what I wanted was something I cannot get. So I went for the job. I came to Bangalore for my work. So now we go to 2017. I was working in Bangalore. I was working in L&T. But something was missing. The job was very good, the company was good, everything was good. I had a good peer group in Bangalore, I was enjoying. But at the same time, I felt that something is missing, that I am not putting my energy into what I actually wanted to do. And then my mother, she always used to tell me that she is a teacher, and she teaches in a very rural background school where there are a lot of poor students, and she tries to help them. So she always used to tell me that if you can do something for these students, or if you can do something for the society, that is the best kind of job that you can have. That the satisfaction that you can get from it is unmatched in any other company or any other corporate that you get into. So this thought was always there, but then I never seriously thought about it because again, I always wanted the Air Force. But then her words started resonating within me. And then when I was in college, I got a very good ecosystem there that was very politically active, socially active, which put a lot of thoughts of social work and doing something for the society in my head. So then and it was at that time, coincidentally, that a very good friend of mine cleared this exam and got into the Indian Administrative Service. So I used to talk to him, and then I realized that this is something that I should also try for. This is something that I might be able to do. So even then, I had not decided if I should go for it or not. So in 2017, I decided that I'll give a trial. I'll just apply for the exam. I'll not study or anything. I'll just go for the prelims and I'll see how this exam is. I'll get a feel of it. And then once you get a feel of the exam, you'll understand whether it's something that you can do or not. So in 2017, while working, I simply applied for the prelims and then I just went and wrote the exam. I didn't prepare anything. Obviously, I didn't clear that exam also. But then one thing I realized with that was that with serious preparation, with concentrated effort, prelims is something that you can actually clear, because the questions that were asked, it all kind of I had looked into the syllabus before, so I realized that it had some connection with the syllabus. So once you prepare with a clear strategy, prelims is something that you can do. And then I came back, and once I gave that prelims, something shifted inside me. I started feeling more and more like this is what I should do. I can actually do this, and I know that once I do this, I can actually do something for the society. This is a good path for me. So that is when I tried to start my serious preparation. So I went out and I started hoarding books like every new aspirant does. I bought the NCRTs, I bought a lot of basic textbooks, I bought a lot of notebooks, pens and everything, and I started my serious preparation. But then one thing I realized was that I was being unfair to my job. I was not giving it the due attention that it deserves, and my attention was getting shifted between my preparation and the job, and I was not doing good in any of it. So I decided that I'll quit the job. So in 2017 November, I finally quit my job in L&T and decided to start full-time preparation. So that brings me to 2018. So 2017 November I quit. In December I went to Trivandrum. I started my serious preparation there. I started classes for sociology and I started taking classes in those areas where I felt I am the weakest. So in 2018, again, I hardly had 6 months for the first prelims that I was going to write seriously. And I try to study everything that I can. Morning 9 o'clock, I'll go for the reading room and I'll sit there till night 10 o'clock. In between, I'll attend classes, I'll attend tests, I'll study, I'll read NCRTs, I'll make notes. So I tried to do everything and it kind of paid off also. So the hard work of 6 to 7 months, I could clear the prelims in that attempt. I cleared the mains also. And then the interview came, but in between some personal issues happened and I was also not very, I was exhausted after such intense study of 7 to 8 months that I kind of slacked off. And because of all these reasons, my interview, it was not, I got a very average score and I missed the final cutoff by 12 marks. So in 2019, that takes us to 2019. In 2019, March was my interview. And 2019 April, I got my result that I have not cleared my second attempt or my first serious attempt. And then the marks came and I realized that I fell short by 12 marks. So I was a bit sad that it was just a 12-mark difference. But then I was also okay that this is your first serious attempt. You still have attempts left. You can always try in the next attempt. So in 2019, the prelims, I think was in May or June, I'm not sure. So I hardly had 1.5 months to seriously prepare for that year's prelims. And then again, some issues came up at home and I had to travel. And because of because of my own mental state, where I felt that I could have pushed a bit more in my previous attempt and bridged that 12-mark gap. Or at least maybe if I had tried a bit more, I would have got into at least the reserve list. So these things kept haunting me and I didn't prepare well. And in 2019, I failed the prelims by 1 mark. So that was again a very, it was like getting a hit to your ego. Because till then I was like, okay, it was going okay. I reached the interview stage. I missed out by only 12 marks. So it was still a uphill climb for me from till there. But then in 2019, I felt like I have hit the rock bottom. I don't know what to do from now because the 2020 prelims seemed like a long way, off, and you have 1 year to do whatever you want to do, but you don't know what to do. I was stuck in a place. I started getting anxiety and I didn't know what to do in that period. So basically what I did was that I wallowed in self-pity and I started, binge eating everything. So I started eating a lot. I put on a lot of weight in that period and I cut people off my life. I didn't talk to my friends or I didn't even visit my home during that period. So 2019, as you can see, it was a very stressful period. And then after some point, what I realized was that I don't know if I'm going to crack this exam or not. But then that doesn't mean that I should ruin my life for it. And even if I crack it this time, with the kind of mental state I'm in, with the kind of physical state I'm in, I was sure that I would not become a very good officer. And that kind of thought, it was like a wake-up call. And then another thing was that there was a friend's marriage function happening. So I was getting my photo clicked after a gap of some 7-8 months, and when I saw myself in that wedding album, I realized that this is not who I am. This is not how I should be, and I should not change who I am as a person for an exam. This exam is important. I really wanted to do this, but that doesn't mean I should ruin my life for this. So I decided to focus more on my physical and my mental health. I went to a doctor. I realized that I have a vitamin D deficiency, which was causing a lot of things to my body and head. So I started taking supplements. I started running. I started yoga, and I started a bit of meditation. And then, so in next I started eating clean. I started eating home cooked food. So in the next 6 to 7 months, I completely focused on getting my health and my well-being back. So that took me to 2019 December or November. And then I realized was that I was wasting so much time being depressed, and I wasted so much time being, anxious and recovering from it, that I have lost a year. I have not done anything in the last 6 to 7 months. All I did was cry and eat. So again, I felt like I've wasted my next attempt also, because I've not made any considerable change in my strategy, or I didn't analyze my mistakes, and I didn't own up my mistakes. So that was a wake up call again. So in 2019 December, I restarted my preparation. I took all my things back. I tried to analyze where I went wrong in prelims and mains, which I have discussed in another videos, the pitfalls that I faced and what I did to correct my strategy, etc. So 2019 December, I started again, and then like all of a sudden the prelims was upon us. I hardly had 3 months for the prelims, and I was not at all prepared. And I knew that I could have used the last 7-8 months for my optional and improving my answer writing, but I did none of that. And again, I was getting anxious that I wasted a year. The 2019 prelims failure was actually an opportunity for me to correct my strategy, but I did waste that time. That thought was haunting me. So that was the time when the corona struck. This is not at all a good thing for the world, but for me personally, it was a silver lining. It came with a silver lining that I got a 3-4 month extension for the prelims. And the 3-4 months that I got, I completely used it for 1.5 months. I spent it for my sociology and for my mains answer writing and GS content building, so that the last 1.5 month I completely devoted for the prelims, and finally I wrote the 2020 prelims, and it went well. I got a good score there also. And then 2020 mains I went, because I had covered a bit of sociology and a bit of GS. The 2020 mains also went well. And then in 2021, I would say in 2020 attempt and 2021, I finally got an interview call. And finally, in 2021, I got my result, which came with a 6th rank. So when I look back, what I feel is that there were a lot of points in my life where I felt I failed. When I couldn't get into Air Force, when I couldn't clear my second attempt, third attempt, and I even wasted one attempt giving it as a trial. So once you reach your fourth attempt, you'll feel like, oh, you should have saved an attempt so that, then you could give another attempt seriously. So I wasted an attempt. I had all these thoughts haunting me. But then in 2021, when I look back into the last 5 or 6 years of my life, now I don't regret anything. So if I had got into Air Force, I would have become a liability to the system because of my flat feet. I wouldn't be able to run. I wouldn't be able to perform the basic physical requirements that is necessary for such an elite prestigious service. So it's a good thing that they rejected me. It was a right thing to happen. And then the attempts that I took, it has changed me a lot as a person. Knowledge wise, yes, it gave me a lot of information, a lot of understanding about how the world works around me. But then as a person also, I think it has made me much more stronger, resilient, persistent, and even more humble and more grateful for every opportunity in life. So now that I look back, I wouldn't have my journey any other way. And I would like to keep all my failures, I would like to embrace them so that I could have a very good success in 2021. So this is about my UPSC journey, and these are few questions that I get. So I did my complete preparation from Trivandrum and from my home. Mostly the last attempt, it was spent mostly at home only. So I usually get this question that why I did not go to Delhi for preparation. So that was one conscious decision that I took very early on in my preparation. So when I decided to quit my job, I decided that I'll not go to Delhi because one thing, there is no proof that going to Delhi is going to get your service. Next thing is, if that was the case, everyone would be going to Delhi and everyone who goes to Delhi should get into service. So that was not happening. The second thing was that I didn't want to get into a rat race. I wanted a flexible, more enjoyable journey of UPSC. I even talked to a few seniors of mine who cracked it. So what they said was that you have to enjoy the process. You have to love every minute of it. And then you need a flexibility also where you can attend classes at your convenience and then you can self-study also. So for all this, when I thought about it, Delhi was not something right for me. Again, this is a very personal thing, but for me, I found sitting in my hometown or Trivandrum in Kerala and having a relaxed preparation journey was more suitable for my strategy. So this is why I didn't go to Delhi. I didn't want to get into the rat race and the pressure and the stress that is associated. I just wanted a calm and quiet place where I can sit and read my thing. So that was what I did. I stayed in Kerala. I didn't go anywhere. Even for my interview or anything, I took some 2-3 mocks from Delhi institutes, but that was also taken online from my home only. So that is why I did not go to Delhi. So next question is related to that only. Is online preparation sufficient? Yes, online preparation can be sufficient. You can now access all the classes, all the materials, everything online. So that is sufficient. But the only issue with online preparation is that you need a lot more self-determination and self-discipline compared to the offline coaching people. This is because in online, it's very difficult to get a peer group. You might not have friends who are studying. So if you're in a reading room or library, you see other persons reading, you will automatically get an urge to read. So that is missing in online preparation. And then you might tend to slack off, or when you're not very self-disciplined, you might face issues in being consistent. But if you're a very self-determined, self-disciplined person, online preparation is more than sufficient for you, is my opinion. Next is, can self-study alone help you crack the CSE? Again, this is also depending on how you are as a person. If you are a person who is independent, who can, manage the stuff alone, self-study also can help you, because there are a lot of people who have cracked this exam with just self-study. So yes, you can do everything online, sitting at the comfort of your home and doing self-study. But then for me, I did take coaching, especially for my optional sociology and also for certain subjects for GS like economics, which I found really difficult. So what I realized was sociology, I covered the whole syllabus in 4 months by taking classes. If I had studied it myself, I would have taken more time to cover it. So that kind of advantage is there for coaching. And then everything is planned and presented to you on a platter in a coaching center. You just have to take it and consume it. So if you're that kind of a person who is ready to work hard but you're not ready to strategize, then maybe you can go for a coaching. And I wouldn't say you don't have to go for coaching also, because it will definitely help you with a good mentorship system where there are a lot of people who can push you and who can guide you when you are in times of distress. So that advantage is there when you take coaching or when you go to an institute. But then self-study is more than sufficient also. Then, can one crack CSE with a full-time job? So I had a full-time job, but I quit it. But then the reason for quitting it was not that I couldn't study along with my job. But the thing was that one thing, I really didn't see a point in continuing, because even if I didn't clear this examination, I would have tried to switch my career to another area. So like it was just a matter of time when I quit. So I found it convenient to quit in 2017 and I quit it. But then there are a lot of people who do not have that kind of opportunity to quit. You might have other responsibilities on you. You might have other reasons for continuing your job. So that is well and good. You just have to plan accordingly and put in a bit more effort compared to the other candidates who are preparing full time. But then there is, again, we usually say this, there is 8-9 hours of free time available for a full time preparing student, but then hardly 3 to 4 hours of it is productive. Same, if you can put in 3 to 4 hours every day for a working aspirant, you can definitely crack by keeping your job also. There is no need to quit. Again, it's a completely personal choice, I would say. So that's all about the FAQs. Yeah. So if you like the video and if you want to know more about this, you can always log into Unacademy and use my code Meera6 to watch more videos. And similarly, there are a lot more educators and awesome classes that are available in the website. You can always go to Unacademy, you can log in and you can access these wonderful sessions. And yes, let's crack it. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.